Indians are my brothers and sisters. हमेशा हम अपने प्लेज में यही बात कहते आ रहे हैं. भारत हमेशा एकता की बात करता है, अखंडता की बात करता है और दूरियों में भी साथ रहने की बात करता है. यहीं से आज मैं आपको द इंडिया पोस्ट के माध्यम से आपका परिचय कराने जा रही हूँ एक ऐसे व्यक्ति से जो भारत से जुड़े हुए हैं, पर भारत से बाहर रहते हुए भी भारत के लिए बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं. तो आज मैं आपका परिचय कराने जा रही हूँ डॉक्टर नरेश शर्मा जी. इन्होंने डेंटिस्ट होकर हम कैसे अपने देश के लिए कुछ कर सकते हैं, लोगों को वो खुशी दे सकते हैं, लोगों को वो स्माइल दे सकते हैं जो हम हमेशा बोलते हैं ना कि वी आर नेवर कंप्लीटली ड्रेस्ड अप विदाउट अ स्माइल. And smile always depends on a good teeth, how good we have our teeth. So a dentist plays a major role in building our good teeth, good dentures, the good personality of a human being. मैं आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ नरेश जी, you have always been in your childhood, you met lot of people who were connected to Sangh, or maybe they were politicians but they were working so much for India. You've like grown up with them. It may be Deen Dayal ji, Nanaji Deshmukh or Atal Bihari Vajpayee. But your father was also a great personality and he was a big member of the Sangh family and he connected you to all these great people. How does that affect your lifestyle and how did that make you come through this, like all this field of social work?
Okay, Apoorva ji, thank you very much firstly for giving me the opportunity to present my thoughts. As you know, I have been brought up in the Sangh Parivar. My father was one of the founding members of Sangh in East Africa. My father was was enlisted from India by the British to go and work in the civil service in East Africa. So he went to East Africa where I was born and he started Sangh there along with another few Bharatiya colleagues. And so I have always been going to Sangh since I was born basically. And I had the lucky fortune of meeting some great people who came from India. So my whole soch, the way has always been selfless service as we were taught in Sangh. And over the years I met people like Deen Dayal ji who came to East Africa in 1963. And he was a great influence on myself and on people in East Africa. And then later on in 64 or 65, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji came. In fact, he stayed with us. What a warm gentleman he was. And so his thoughts and his feelings have had a huge influence on the way I have conducted my life over the last 60, 70 years. Particularly Deen Dayal ji Upadhyaya, his thoughts were always that the people of India mostly live in the villages and we have to do any upliftment from village level. And that is a message that Nanaji Deshmukh has taken forward.
Nanaji has done a great work, we all know. And Chitrakoot is his major work field. And you have been working there around all the rural villages in the field of plastic surgery and even dental camps have been put up there. So how you came up with the idea of like bringing up the charity and going towards the villages and working for them?
Yeah, I mean, the whole story started in 1998. I mean, we migrated from East Africa. I came to the UK here to study, where I studied dentistry at the University of Leeds. And I had a very successful practice here. And Nanaji, who was acquainted with my father, came to the UK in 1998. And he came and stayed with us in our house. And he said to me, Naresh ji, I want you to come to Chitrakoot to start a dental project. So my first question to him was, where is Chitrakoot? Never heard of Chitrakoot. So he said, Naresh ji, just come and have a look and then you decide. And he was so right, because I went to Chitrakoot the following year and I just fell in love with the place, with the people, with everything in Chitrakoot. That is my main home. My second home is here in the UK. And I've had the pleasure to meet so many fantastic people in Chitrakoot. And as far as the dental project was concerned, I thought, how am I going to start a dental project here? So remote village, away from everywhere else. But there is some power in Chitrakoot that makes things happen. So I came back to the UK and we raised quite a lot of money for Chitrakoot. And in the year 2000, we built 3 surgeries there in Rogadam, which was already there, which Nanaji had built this beautiful hospital called Rogadam. And within that, they gave us some space to start a dental surgery. So we put in through 3 surgeries with the state-of-the-art equipment, most modern equipment you can get. Even now that those 3 surgeries are functioning, we've added 3 more surgeries since then. But that was the शुरुआत उसकी वहाँ से हुई थी. और since then, I've never looked back, and I've been going back to Chitrakoot 2-3 times a year. And we've expanded the work now. We've built 2 more surgeries. We have built a dental laboratory where we can make false teeth, we can make crowns, bridge work. And a lot of people from around the world have joined me. People have come from the United States, from Canada, from France, from Italy, from New Zealand, from Australia. My colleagues come and work there. And we've expanded the surgery beyond my wildest imagination. And we have a mobile clinic which was launched in 2005 when Bharatji was there. We launched the mobile surgery in one of the villages. And this surgery now goes around the villages at least once a week. We service, as you know, the Chitrakoot project looks after 500 villages within 100 square kilometers of Chitrakoot. And a lot of the villages are quite distant and remote. Those villages can't come to Rogaram. So we go out to them. So we go and set up a mobile clinic in the village, in a school or under a tree. And we take all the equipment with us. And we try and treat as many people there as we can. The ones who need complicated work, we arrange for them to come to Rogadam. So over the years, we have expanded the service. And one of the things I noticed when I was going around the villages, there seemed to be a lot of patients with the clefts, with facial deformities, kate hot. And so they needed treating. And we also saw a lot of patients with burns for some reason. Well, the main reason is the villages at that time didn't have electricity. So they were cooking on open fires and having a diya, which caused quite a few fires. And a lot of the ladies had severe facial burns. And they were all suffering. So I came back to the UK and I spoke to my colleagues, because I work in the hospital as well, to the plastic surgery colleagues. And they agreed to come along and help us. So Nanaji had already set up a Matru Sadan there, which is a mother and child unit. And within this, there was an operating theatre, which was not being used at the time. So we fully equipped the operating theatre. We spent, over about 10 lakh rupees getting it upgraded. And we then started doing plastic surgery on patients who had hair lips, cleft palates, burns cases. And over 20 years, of 15 years that we've been operating, we've done about 600 major cases, totally free of cost. The whole cost of the treatment is borne by TheIndia Research Institute and us from the UK. And the treatment is free of charge. The patients' families are welcome to come along with them, and we look after them. We provide them food, shelter, medication, etc. And that has been the most fulfilling part of what we do. And dentistry is important, like Apoorva says, it is the focal point of your face and your smile, etc. And that says a lot about you. But the mouth is like a mirror. For a dentist, look in the mouth, You can see how healthy that person is, whether they have other illnesses. So we can diagnose a lot of things by just looking at the mouth. So it is important. Um, and this is what we've trained. We've now employ local dentists led by Dr. Varun Gupta, who's been there nearly 14 years now. And he is joined by 3 other dentists, and we have a total staff of about 30 who run the department, along with Dr. Varun, who has been here to the UK. We sponsored him. He came here, spent 3 months here being trained, and he does some fantastic work. And I'm there to support him all the time.
Thank you. Great to know how you got into the work and how not easily, but easily you explained the hard work you did. Because working in villages is really hard, because people don't believe us. People always, like, the villagers need a connection. To connect to them, we need to talk to them and make them understand what we are trying to do, and not harming them, but we are trying to help them. And as the teeth are very important for us, so I've heard one joke. So there was one picture in which eyebrows were shaved, and a person was smiling and he didn't have the teeth. So all the people in the comment box wrote about his teeth, but not about the missing eyebrow. So we all know how important our teeth are. So I would like, you have cured more than 1 lakh patients. So what will you suggest, like general dental care for all the children and all the youth? Because nowadays we tend to eat more sugary foods and drink sodas and all. So our teeth are getting worse and worse day by day. So what will be the major suggestion to keep our mouths clean? And even in this pandemic time, we need to be hygienic and clean. So what will be your message for them?
Okay. Firstly, let me address the point you made about the villagers not trusting us when we go there. As you know, the India Research Institute has a Smart Shilpi scheme where we have a graduate couple who are based in the villages who have already earned the trust of the people there. So they are a connection between us and the villagers. So when we go there, the villagers already know who we are, and we just need to treat 1 or 2 patients, and the rest of them are watching that we're treating them without any pain, without any problems, and they're very happy then to have their own treatment. Now, coming back to dental health and oral health, of course, hygiene is the most important thing. You're quite right. What I've noticed, Indians are very good at brushing their teeth first thing in the morning, but not last thing at night. It is generally not known that more harm is done at night when you're sleeping, when the bacteria are active, and during the daytime. So it's very important to brush your teeth both in the morning and at night before you go to bed. Number 1. Number 2, Apoorva, you're quite right. The sugar consumption in India is going up just as it's in the West. In the West, we have a major problem here, not only with the oral health, but with obesity. People are getting very fat due to eating too much sugar, which is more of a health risk than dentistry. Because if you become fat, you become diabetic, you have blood pressure, you get all kinds of problems. So as far as India is concerned, the school children, very important to brush your teeth in the morning and in the evening, and cut out on refined sugars. The refined sugars are, like you said, soda, Coca-Cola is now more available in the villages than it used to be. Toffees, chocolate, etc. Now, we did some research going back 15 years ago when we looked at the incidence of tooth decay amongst the village children. And and the result was quite surprising. I thought these village children don't have access to chocolates and sweets. They'll have less decay than in the West. But the decay they had was almost same as what we have here in the West. So we did some further research. We found out the main reason they were having bad teeth was they were eating a lot of good, which is readily available. You know, the good made from sugarcane. And the fact that they didn't know that they had to brush their teeth twice a day. So now when we go to the villages, we get all the school together in a big field and we give them hygiene instructions on to how to brush correctly. Varunji has a big model of the mouth and he goes with the toothbrush showing people how. And the children who don't have a toothbrush, we give them a toothbrush. But nowadays, 90% of the students, the children have a toothbrush. But in the old days, when we first started in 2000, only about 10-15% of the students had toothbrush. They used to do datun, which is okay, but not as effective as a toothbrush in getting rid of the plaque which collects on the teeth. And this is a plaque that causes cavities and tooth decay.
Very well said. I also got once affected with the bad tooth when I was a little child because I used to eat a lot of chocolates. So it always it's better to brush teeth than go to the dentist and get that tooth removed because it's little scary all the time. So Atmanirbhar Bharat is going on. Everybody is talking about the self-reliant India, and as you told us about self-reliant villages. So, what is your message for Atmanirbhar Bharat as you're doing so much for Bharat being outside? So, we being in India, what can we do and improve our state and be Atmanirbhar as we are, and we can make it अगेन वो जो चीज है कि सोने की चिड़िया भारत कहलाती थी वो फिर से सोने की चिड़िया कहलाए, वो कैसे हो सकता है? What's your word towards that?
ठीक है. देखिए, मैं भारत में नहीं रहता, भारत के बाहर रहता हूँ. मेरा दिल एकदम भारतीय है. There's no doubt about it. 100%. And Nana ji always used to say, मैं अपने लिए नहीं हूँ, अपनों के लिए हैं. अपने वो हैं जो पीड़ित और अपेक्षित हैं. And that means a hell of a lot to me. And I think very similarly to what Nana ji thought. And as you know, Nanaji's whole philosophy was self-reliant. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity now that a lot of the people who migrated to the cities in India have come back to the villages because of this virus. Now, this is a chance for us to make sure they don't go back to the cities and add to the slums. This is where they would need opportunities to start working in the village and earning a living. Now, there's various things that Nanaji had started. We start giving them micro loans to start their own business. So we're teaching them skills, giving the farmers a hand in improving the output of their crops. Rural industries, we can teach them building work. We can teach them how to make building materials. We can have cooperatives where we collect all the produce from the farms and sell it directly to the public out of the middlemen. So there's a huge opportunity here. But I think the government needs to take a lead here to make sure, which I'm sure it's already been addressed by Modi ji, that these people are given an opportunity to make a living in the village rather than go back to the cities and add to the slums.
We all know how important it is to know about our country, know about ourselves, what we feel and what we can contribute to our country. Nana ji, Deen Dayal ji, or it may be Gandhi ji, everybody taught about how to be Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, and even Abdul Kalam ji wrote about the Chitrakoot model in his book Vision 2020. So this year is something to bring change because everything is healing because of this virus. This virus has brought us to the state where we are thinking what we really need, what we really want. So this time is really great for us to improve on what we were lacking because we all know भारत गांव का देश है और भारत गांव में बसता है. तो हम अगर गांव में ही रहकर भारत को आगे बढ़ाना चाहें, ना कि उन्हें शहर बनाएं, बल्कि गांव को ही गांव जैसा रखकर आगे बढ़ाएंगे तो भारत आत्मनिर्भर बन सकता है. बहुत ही अच्छा आपसे बात करके लगा, बहुत ही चीजें जानने को मिली जो हमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए बहुत ही अच्छी रहेंगी. धन्यवाद. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Apoorva ji. Best wishes to all our country folk. Thank you.
Thank you.